Hey fellow crafters, well today we're going to make a pumpkin decoration, two Dollar Tree pumpkin wreath forms, and a cloth of your choice. I found this in the remnant aisle of Joann Fabrics. So what you're going to do is lay the one pumpkin down and then put the fabric over top of it. And I'm out of frame here, but what I'm doing is just gluing the edges or gluing the fabric to the edges of the frame on the bottom frame. The top frame's off. So you just make sure that the fabric is pulled taut, and then you just want to go around the edges of the pumpkin and glue it down. This right here, I think I made a mistake. I would have left that on. If I had to do it again, I would have left that part on and glued it down, so it would have given the stem something to hold on to. But this is what we're going to do. We're just going to keep gluing the edges of the fabric down on the pumpkin frame. Another thing I might have done different on this one is I might have trimmed the edges a little bit better instead of just leaving so much excess fabric and gluing it all down. I think I would have trimmed it a little bit better before trying to glue all that fabric down to the edge of the pumpkin form. But it still came out good. You just want to be careful with the glue not to burn yourself like I've done many times. But pretty much that's all you got to do. Okay, now that we have the fabric on, we're going to take our second pumpkin wreath and we're going to put it on top. We're just going to use a couple dabs of glue, and we can fold that fabric down there because it's going to be covered up. So we're just going to put some glue along the edges of the frame of the pumpkin and the fabric just to hold it down. And I have some clips here from the Dollar Tree also, which came in handy because it really held it down. You just want to make sure that the stem is kind of together, because what we're going to do is we're going to take some nautical rope and we're going to put some glue there on the back, and we're going to start wrapping. This is where I think it would have been better if I had left the fabric on the stem so it had something more to adhere to than just the actual wreath form itself. But we're going to just keep putting glue on and building the glue up on top of the rope, the Dollar Tree nautical rope, and we're just going to build the stem of the pumpkin out of the nautical rope and glue it to itself. So we're at the top now, and we're just going to make sure that the space in between the two pumpkin forms are filled in with the nautical rope and glued tight together, because this is kind of what's holding the pumpkin forms together, besides the little dabs of glue we put on. So we're going to take the clips off, and then I decide I'm going to cut the excess fabric off, or some of the excess fabric, and then I'm going to glue what's left down just to give it a better hold so the pumpkin holds together better. So now we're going to take the nautical rope, everybody's favorite, and we are going to try to make the word fall in cursive letters. So what I'm doing is trying to make the F and gluing it down and holding it with the clip. It's a little difficult, but doable. It just takes a little bit of a dexterity to get the letters to stay. So I'm using the clips to hold it down while it dries, trying not to burn myself. And so there's the A. And then I clip the inside so it would get out of the way so I could make the L. And what I'm trying to do is keep the two L's at least uniform and looking the same. So I think that looks pretty good. So now that the word is dry, we're going to glue it down to the pumpkin form. Just try to space it out so it's even. And we're going to just take the glue gun and we're going to glue it mainly to the black part of the form. There's some that I glued to the actual fabric, but I tried to stay on the form itself. And we just want to make sure that it looks good before we glue it down. And then we have our little tails. We'll glue them down, and we're almost done. So we're going to take some of the orange leaves from the Dollar Tree and we're just going to glue them down around the stem. Some on the fabric, some on the stem itself. But we're just going to cover up the bottom of that stem and make it look nice. And the orange leaves really pop against the white and the brown. After I got the leaves on there, I thought it needed something else, so I have some of this really pretty fall ribbon. So I decided to make a bow and tied it off with some twine, clipped off the ends, and glued it to the top in the middle of the leaves. And the project is finished.